Para? I want some goddamn answers!
How many are down there?
It's enough to make a young man.
How many did you kill? Up to you to find out.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Michael. Good morning. Thanks for joining me today. Talk about Devil in Disguise on Peacock.
Of course, glad to be here.
One of the most notorious serial killers of our times. And what an amazing opportunity for an actor like you to play such a monster. How did you begin to channel John Wayne Gacy for this role?
It's interesting. It is quite the challenge, but a role that has been tackled before throughout the years. And my biggest concern was like, what was the approach going to be with this show? And one of the things that we do differently from other serial crime dramas is the focus is really on the victims in our show. And we have these short stories in every episode where you meet some of the victims before they ever cross paths with John Gacy. So I felt like my job in this show was not to show the totality of who he was or try to in any way explain why he did what he did, but instead to embody him so that we started to maybe understand why some of these boys would trust him to go back to his house or take a job at his contracting company. So I really had to embody this aspect of him, which was very charming by all accounts and likable and non-threatening. He came off as like just sort of the happy, goofy neighbor who you would ask to shovel your driveway after a snowstorm. So that was the real trick, was writing this line of someone who publicly appeared safe, but who was absolutely not safe behind closed doors. He was a monster.
Right, because you play him like a model citizen, because he says he has four personalities: the politician, the realtor, the clown, and a practicing clown. Really, he's known for being creepy like that. But in this version, no makeup, no clown suit, and no graphic murder scenes, which I thought we really don't need to see that, right? Because you concentrate more on the man and behind him.
That's what we were attempting to do, was to make John Gacy a human being. And that doesn't mean I don't want to humanize him or give empathy towards him, but to take away some of the sensationalized stuff that we know about him, this idea of the killer clown. I feel like, unfortunately, that distanced him from us at the time. It made him seem almost like a cartoon figure. And he kind of became a part of pop culture, this killer clown idea. People say that Stephen King even based Pennywise partly from it on John Wayne Gacy. And so two things that were really important to us were not to show any graphic violence or murder on screen, and to not show the clown in its full frontal face makeup, because that we felt like that had done an injustice to the victims to turn him into this kind of cartoon character.
Well, you had
pounds, just a guy.
Right. And Michael, you had numerous examples of his voice and mannerisms. And I think that one shot that I've seen the first episode is that taking that mug shot with him, and he kind of giggles, just kind of like he thinks it's all a game, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's a true story. When they asked him, to tell what state he was born in, he said a state of confusion, and then he laughed. And if you look at his actual mugshot, you can find it online. He's got a little grimace on his face.
Now, for an actor for a role like this, can you turn John Wayne Gacy off at the end of the day? Doesn't go home with you, or is it easy just to put that away?
He was not allowed home with me. That was a strict rule. My whole family moved with me to Toronto, where we shot the show. I live in New York. And so my wife came, and our daughter, who was 1.5 years old at the time. And so there was no way I could walk through that door with really any remnants of him on me. I just had to be dad and a husband at the end of the day. So I left him at work.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. But did you ever think you're a Juilliard trained actor? Do you ever think you were going to play such a role like this?
I certainly didn't imagine playing John Wayne Gacy, but yeah, I'm drawn to complex characters. I've been, for lack of a better term, a character actor my whole career. And one of the things I learned at Juilliard was how to create character, how to, imagine a backstory and a whole history for a character, and to learn how to work physically, like you mentioned, mannerisms and a vocal pattern, a dialect. These are all things that really interest me as an actor. So the more complex the role, the better.
It was disturbing, it was insightful, and it was different. That's what because we've seen so many versions of John Wayne Gacy, and so you brought a new angle to this. So congratulations, Michael. Devil in Disguise streaming on Peacock TV. I appreciate your time this morning, and let's talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Love that. Thank you for having me.